bearings. Okay, this is so try something a little bit different. Of 12 midnight energy. I just tapped into 12D also. We can do, doesn't have to be 12D, but we're just going to do it in that form. Of course, you can do 4D, 5D, 3D, 6D, whatever. 2D and 1D. Just something different. Unless somebody's here. This is Fritzy, I think. I think so. Timeline shift 2024. I was going to put going forward. Oh well, I forgot that part. So yeah, obviously we just started. Yeah, mine's been going off like a bang. Anyway, yeah, it's Fritzy. I'm not gonna pick her up though. She's going crazy. So yeah, 12D frequency, or 12 o'clock energies. Every the time that we go by. Of course, it does all has a portal energy connected to it. Of course, time can speed up, slow down. There's all types of frequencies connected to it. So, of course, we're in time for right now. Of course, in the astral realms, it's no time usually. I guess it depends on where you are astral. I'm not an expert, so okay. All right, we're going to see what we got here. Yeah, Fritzy's here. I don't think she'll make an appearance. Maybe, possibly. Silento.com. Here for our sessions. Scheduler. Also the shop here. So, all right. Okay, yeah, so just be a short channeling just to connect to the time itself. So connect to the midnight energies. Let's see. Just tapping into it. Yeah, it's like a page in a book. It is a cleansing time, especially at midnight. It's just a cleansing of the day. Sometimes it does rain at midnight. It all depends. Not many people are awake at midnight. Usually not, because you have to get to work and everything. So you can say the astral realms open up even more. They do open up already, but it feels like it opens up even more for those that, for whoever that's for. It's like the astral realms obviously open up for everyone to a certain level, but it seems like it's almost like at 12, like the party or the clubhouse is open more. Whatever, however you want to look at that. It's not really making itself clear on that one, but of course, 3 o'clock in the mornings, that's when a lot of people wake up. That's when their job is done or whatever it might be. It's not the same for everybody, but 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, usually 3 is something like you're done with your duties, whatever it might be. So 12 is just a cleanse of the day and just kind of beginning of the new day to some level, like the seeds, the frequencies that go into the new day, new time. Of course, the timeline is actually already there before time hits it. So it's like when time hits it, it kind of activates parts of the timeline, however you want to look at that. Well, because we are attracted to it, we attract these timelines that we're on. So look at that, we're magnetic energy to it. So of course, if you have a contract, you're going to attract it no matter what, because you have to. There's also doing major clearing timeline shifts. I don't know, just I guess witchcraft and all that's done around midnight, right? Yeah, spells, unfortunately. So, all right, do clearing there and go into 12D or 12. Yeah, just go into the midnight realms in general, and then go into timeline shift 2024 going forward. I probably won't change the wording of that, but it is going forward though. Okay, all right. What's this? Greeks. We have 12D energies. There are entities that, I mean, you just need one entity that is like a 12D frequency, and the entire world can feel it. It's like you're experiencing it through that entity's experience. Its consciousness, its personalities. Sometimes you feel like the day is off, or maybe it's more aligned to what it was. Be surprised how entities connect to your earth. Just to move things forward. Of course, many are here to move it backward. So yeah, you can say this is kind of like your God realms, however you want to word it. But 12 has, yes, a lot of portals of just emptying out the lower dimension energies. This is really, it's kind of like it's kind of like a dumpster time. This is just cleansing. And when the sun is out, that is when the rebirth, the growth occurs. So at night, it's just basically just a clearing. Now you're still healing, but really when the sun comes out, those times, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, that's when really the regrowth happens. Like you grow your hair back, you grow your life back, you bring more energy into yourself. So night and day are very important. You have a growth, and then you also have a reverse, a clearing, a ungrowth, a cutting of your old frequencies, cutting down old timelines. It's the shedding of the old timelines for the new ones. Sometimes it's like you can't sleep until a certain time, maybe midnight or 3, or some of you wait till 5 because you're doing a clearing, and sometimes the clearing doesn't end until like 5 o'clock in the morning. You'd be surprised how much work you're doing, and you can't sleep. Yeah, but you are in astral. You're just not, in the unconscious realm. You are there. It's just you need to be here in the physical for whatever reason. So it's kind of like getting your haircut, being awake, and when you go to sleep, you can get your haircut then. But sometimes you need to be awake for it. Just make sure things like your reality stays the same. It's like you don't want things to change too much. It's another way of looking at it, why you don't sleep. And others can't sleep for whatever reason. Sometimes, if you have trouble sleeping at night, partly also is like it's kind of like slowing down the timeline for whatever reason. It's like you're not ready for things to happen too quickly. So look at it that way. Because when you have a sleep state, a lot of times, things move quickly. But when you're awake throughout the night or wake up early, just like, it kind of just not ready for things to happen quickly. They just have the reasons of just sometimes the slow pace has a purpose. But this is the year of new beginnings, new connections. Of course, every year is right, but this one's going to be a little bit different. The 2024 energy has a different type of frequency. It's like you passed a lot of the tests, and now you're going into this new era. Of course, there's still financial tests happening. It's not over yet for the world, but some of you are like moving into your new timeline frame of mind. And we actually see timelines actually speed up drastically. Like what you've been planning for a long time is now here, and maybe move faster than you thought. And so as for the 12D frequencies here, of course, all realms assist your world. So like I say, 12D, we're always releasing frequencies. But in the 3D, you're always building. There's always a construction, because this is a physical realm, so you're constructing. When you go to the 4D realm, it's like you're clearing out the physical realms, and you go up you go through the realities. Little by little, you're clearing out the physical dimensions, so you can just feel more clear. Not to say the physical has a purpose. Sometimes you have to slow things down, get to know yourself, look into yourself, because you go too fast and you can't figure out who you are. You come here in the physical, everything stops. And you take a hard look into who you are. Yes, there's challenges, but because there's beings here to either to help you figure yourself out or to make it more difficult. But basically, you're just doing a more of an examination of who you are. It doesn't always you can't always know everything, and for everything to be laid out for you is nearly impossible. But you are doing sometimes exams take a long time. And that's why sometimes the timelines take a long time. There's no rush. For some there is. Those that need to rush, well, it all depends. Sometimes they need to go back into the astral realm and quick close their life out so they can be back into the non-physical to assist this world. But because a lot of you are actually preparing it for others to incarnate. So I'll just leave it at that. Greens. We have 2024 frequencies. But every day, every year it shifts its consciousness. This year, yes, it's not going to reveal its intentions clearly, because the political frequencies, obviously those are just vendettas. There's this secret ops, black ops energies, shadow government playing with your society. So your black ops or your shadow groups really are, I can say they're at peace with each other to a certain level. Yes, they drink tea together even if they hate each other. Of course, your society is far from that. So the thing that makes the difference between your shadow groups and society is that shadow groups, the enemies can hang out with each other. You see this, your politics, the enemy is there at the table somewhere. And they're making some kind of negotiation, whatever it might be. But your world, in the physical, has difficulties doing that. Want to talk now. Obviously, with families and all that, we understand. Distraction. But basically, bringing in society's slowly. It's not there yet, but the idea is for it to, settle its differences. Come to the table. But obviously, you're not there yet. One thing about like your courtrooms and all of that, they get enemies together, but they're still not really talking to each other. Still a lot of there's still a lot of peace that has to be done. And now, once again, reptilian group, it's not just the humans that have issues with this. Obviously, you've been trained to kind of hate each other to a certain level. The thing has been, but reptilians, alien groups have a problem with it. A lot of them have cleared out. They might talk bad about your world, but they have issues too. They just don't want to talk about it for obvious reasons. So they get their problems out on you. They throw all their timelines into your reality. You have to clear it out for them. Reptilians is one, insectoids. Usually insectoids are actually quite, some of them do eat each other, but they can't even stand each other. They just eat their enemy, just like that. They still have a ways to go. But feline beings, they have some skirmish frequencies. Sometimes they can still, sit across each other and make some peace. You can see dogs and cats. Obviously, there's a lot of dogs and cats don't like each other. That's a tough one. Because the dogs and cats energy, basically it depends on the dog and the cat, but sometimes they feel more dominant than the other. Sometimes you have a dog that feels more dominant than the cat, or the cat feels more dominant. Sometimes you have like a little cat that's more dominant than everybody. At least it thinks it is. Of course, then it's small size. It can sometimes get crushed. It all depends on the situation there. So that's the other thing about like reptilians and humans. Well, humans here, of course, you're basically trained, to attack each other. And they don't teach in their universities of peace. Of course, that's not very profitable. But eventually it's going to have to be the new business of just peacefulness. You're getting there. I mean, many don't want wars, but it's like, okay, we don't want a war, but what do we do ourselves? And there's still a war with the family. But the idea for peace or negotiations, diplomatic, you can say diplomatic families, friends, not that they call it a business, but just really to, once again, calm down the conflicts. You still might not like each other, but at least you can, sit at the table and not tear in. Share your differences. You still might not like each other, but the war is coming to an end. Look at it that way. Yes, there's beings that want to, on the kill, the death battleships and all of that. Well, they're just creating a lot of karma for themselves, and that they don't care. They're just, and of course, you have to defend yourself. There's nothing. Yeah, you have no choice. You got to defend yourself. So that, of course, now you have your armies, but there will become a time where basically peace is the new drug, and some of you are already feeling it. It's just society has not caught that cold yet. Of course, there are many that have, especially those that like in Brazil, there's like theft and physical abuse and all that. That hasn't come to a time where basically it's just ready to real. It's just it has to become trendy. It kind of is, but it's more manipulated at this point. Like there's like a fake piece. Like you have your your merchandise and all that, your physical, your even income is used against you, as you can see. Even your jobs, yes, you're traumatized by your own job, as some of you know. You think your family is traumatized, and you go to your job, it's the same thing, or it's different, and that's the same thing. So, but basically, the idea is to end the wars for, basically for society to just, because they don't have to like each other, but at least end the infighting, like the rude insults mentally. Just like, okay, we're just going to calm down. We still don't like each other, but it's like, okay, we'll sit together, we'll hang out together in the same country, on the same world, and just calm down. And that's when you see a different planet arise. Yeah, your aliens might show up possibly, but sometimes the aliens want to just sit back still and let you truly come into the new colors, the new, they don't want to interrupt that. Actually, you really want the ideas for humanity just to step back from its anger and bring some you can still have dislike and calmness at the same time. But that's what you're working towards. You wonder what this is all about. It really comes out to end the war, but how does one do that? You do that in your own life, and the energy does go out. I mean, it doesn't mean like families. It doesn't mean you have to hang out with them. I mean, if you absolutely need to. But yeah, the idea is to, if you do, to keep it as conservative or diplomatic as possible. That will help. Like I say, you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of time on it because sometimes they can attack your energies. Vice versa, kids attacking the parents, or the parents attacking, through parasitic energies and all that. Yeah, they might be peaceful. That's the other thing. They might be peaceful. But what about energy attacks? It's like, we're being nice. I'm saying nice things, but all of a sudden you feel like you're being vampired. So there's still still a long ways to go. But that's when you start understanding psychic energies. And of course, that's known to a certain level, but society has been programmed to dismiss it and be mind controlled. So releasing the mind control, that's not something that you do. It has to happen throughout generations. It's just too embedded in society just to let it go just like that. Because it's in your family line. And it's in, it's like in your own name. If you change your last name, that can unleash a lot of it. But it's still also in your DNA, and changing that's a little difficult. But that's why you have children kind of dilutes the programming. Well, it's all in your teachings too, but it does dilute a lot of it. But it really has to do with how you treat them too. But if you have intention to deprogram, it goes into the new generations and continues to go forward. So give me some idea. Obviously, fixing this planet, it's still a part of it. So many part of society, they just find this world entertaining, all the chaos. Those that are living here, just not always. But there's many of you are just tired of it, tired of just the frequency fighting that's going on. So you probably see a difference here, at least in 10 years, of less negativity. Of course, there's a lot here. Demonic beings most likely will find nowhere else to go. They're going to have to hitchhike somewhere else because they're not going to be welcomed here anymore. Right now, this is their home, but it can't last forever because, they think they have it all figured out, but really only because society lets them have it all figured out and you're learning from them, but eventually you disregard them. It's like, you're done. And they go somewhere else. And yeah, so blessings.